Hello and welcome. Elena Frobase here with Transform Publishing, and we are interviewing Terri Sims, who is a co-author of the book You Are a Star. So we're going to dive in and talk to her a little bit about her chapter and get her to expand on some of the content. So welcome. How are you, Terri?
I am doing well. Is the noise in the background too much? Because I can have them turn that down some.
Nope, I don't hear a thing, but I just realized I didn't get the cat out of the room, so my cat's right here, so this could be interesting. So hopefully he behaves.
Right.
So I always throw him out of the room before I get on here and I forgot. So, oh well, we'll go with it. Let's dive into your chapter. In your
Okay.
chapter, you say, I advise you never to perceive yourself as so smart that you overlook another's value. Will you share with us the importance of valuing others and themselves?
Well, I said that because sometimes it's like it's all right to value yourself, but not to be too judgmental that you don't take that person's thoughts, suggestions, or ideals for granted. And because I can give you a scenario. Here's a scenario. Um, Someone in my field, I deal with early education, and I am a person who likes to talk about education. So I could talk to anybody in the store. And I've run across many people who says, I didn't do well in school, but I can give you an ideal. Well, your ideals are great to me because you may not have thought you did well in school, but you done well enough. Or your ideal might help me to help someone who may feel like you or who's in that situation. So in order to truly grow, you got to have an open mind, so and to respect what other people are saying and take that.
Absolutely. I 100% see the cat in the mirror.
Yeah, I see him in the mirror.
He's gonna walk right. He's gonna start knocking himself on the floor. It's what he does. All right. So number 2, your chapter says you must look within yourself to find and embrace your talent. How does one look within themselves? And do you have a written exercise maybe they could do?
I do. When you are so busy trying to please others, as a woman especially, you find yourself devaluing your own talent because you want to make that person feel more important. So you first got to embrace who you are before you can do anything or make anybody else feel some way, because your talents are important. So I kind of like wrote down 5 simple steps. And the first one was self-reflection. You know, I tell people one of the hardest things for me to do as a child was to look in the mirror and see me. So I tell people, look in the mirror. And if you ever see a woman, most of the time when we look in the mirror, we look and then we turn away. And I'm like, no, look in the mirror and talk to that person. So first is your self-reflection. Consider, finding activities that make you happy. Do something that's for you, not for anybody else, but for you. You know, Explorations, like for me, different habits or different activities, which is kind of hard for me. But one of the things I started doing was taking different routes. Instead of going home my normal way, especially if it's a beautiful day, I would just hit a road and just ride it and just look at all them, just look around. And, when I'm like, okay, well, it's getting late. Let me turn back around. Especially since we got GPS, you will not be lost. Please use your GPS. But like one time I took a different route home and I stopped inside of a thrift store and just looked around. Cause sometimes you just got to break up that monotony. And you're so busy pleasing everybody else, you forget that looking at that old clock that it was for me. It was one of those old ticking, those old clocks that, go ding, ding.
Oh,
It just, those old clocks that your great grandmas used to have in
it's
their.
it's called a grandfather clock.
Yes, the grandfather clock. I saw that and I went back into my childhood memory. Like, I remember, you know, Just breaking up monotony, taking exploration, setting goals. Like I've got, today's affirmations all over the place. I put it on my poster. I got it on my window. I've got it on my wall. I've got my goals written down. Make them small, make them tangible, and then celebrate your goals. Celebrate that one. Oh, today I'm not going to drink a soda pop. That's a goal. I didn't drink a soda pop today. Sometimes we beat ourselves up not thinking that we are worthy of anything because we're so busy again pouring into others, we forget to pour in ourselves. So set small goals. Also big goals, like, you want to go on vacation. Set that goal, write it down, take a picture of the airlines where you want to go on. If you want to be first flight, do first flight, first class, do stuff. Practice and be persistent. Remember, you are not a master of time. So do not put a time on the things you need to do. If you can't complete it, it's not something to.
Oh, you muted yourself. There we go.
Oh, sorry, the phone ring. And then get feedback. That's my favorite. And then learn from it. Be open. Ask questions. Like in my past 2 marriages, I asked my first ex, and it was funny. I called him and I was like, I need to know what kind of wife I was. And it was so funny because I called him to ask that question. But as he got to talking, he got to telling me about what kind of woman I was. And that helped me feel better. That's in your relationship. As your children, go back and talk to them. Go listen. Don't make up excuses. Because, see, perception is somebody else's reality. We were great parents, but they thought that, oh, when you put us in our room, you were so mean. But in our mind, we're like, you forgot you just poured a whole gallon of milk on the floor. So they don't remember what they did. But if we don't take how they felt and make it sound worse or just apologize for it, that's all you can do. That's in the Bible. If your brother got an aunt with you, go and apologize. And if they accept it, they accept it. If they don't, it's okay. Just love them anyway. At your job, if you've been fired or, you left your job, go back and do a reevaluation. But whatever you do, don't look back to try to fix. You're only looking back to try to do better. And make sure you're getting feedback from some people that you can trust, not the haters. That's super important because I wouldn't call somebody I know they didn't like. I mean, I would, but I'm not going to take all the negativity. I'm going to listen, but just be careful who you get that feedback from. So my thought is when you take a step forward towards the world will be there to receive you.
Amen. That was a fantastic message. I'm just soaking it all in, thinking you should be a motivational speaker.
That's what I want to do. I do. I mean, that's what I'm going to do because anyway, don't get me on that little. I want to do that. I do.
Very good. Very good. Well, I want to capitalize on a couple of things you said. You did come back to feedback and pretty much said this, but I had it wrote down in case you didn't. Get feedback from people you admire and that who you look up to and you want to emulate, not someone who's way off course in their own life. Like if you can't figure out your own life, don't give me advice about mine, almost,
Yeah.
So that would definitely be one. And then you talked about looking at yourself in the mirror, and it was several years ago. I was just in a really bad place and I was losing myself very quickly because of having the wrong people in my life. And I was so frustrated, but I went up to the mirror and I got real close. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. I was an inch away from the mirror and looking into my eyes, like, who are you? What are you doing? Like, where are you going? Like that. It was intense. It was an intense moment. It was cool. I actually went and wrote about it after I did it, but I just want to put that out there. If somebody dare look that deep into your own eyes,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
see a lot. Really see a lot.
definitely, definitely.
Okay, so I think we're on three. Yes, yes, three.
Yeah.
So your chapter talks about how people work to fit into society.
Mm.
Please tell us why standing out is important instead of fitting in.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even know how to write this. I used to tell myself I was a misfit. Like, the first time I realized I was different and it was okay to be different was um the Santa Claus movie. I think it had something to do with Rudolph. And when he ran away because he had a red nose
Mhm.
and he went to the land of misfit. And I remember the song, I am nothing but a misfit. And I was like, that's what I am. I'm a misfit. So it nullified who I was. So it made me feel different. But it wasn't until I watched the movie Happy Feet. And I think I put that in my notes because I was sitting in the movie theater with my grandchildren watching Happy Feet, crying, bawling, trying not to let my babies know I was so that penguin, trying so hard to fit in. I didn't sing. I was different. And I didn't know who I was. And it wasn't towards the ending of the movie did he realize he had a purpose. So it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out and embrace your uniqueness and understand that you are essentially and you are made perfectly by God and you have his purpose in you. And everybody may not see that. And you may not understand it right now. Because, another thing I use is a butterfly. All anybody saw that butterfly do was eat, 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 eat. It was pretty fat. But it wasn't until it went into its own little chrysalis, to its own little purpose, and allowed the universe and God to shape it, that it came out to be the most beautiful monarch butterfly ever. So we are special made. God created us way before we knew who we were. And we just got to be patient and embrace that. True change. True change makers recognize and cherish their uniqueness and understand that fitting in is a notion of the past. And my to go away is that be careful with be comfortable with who you are and not what others think of you.
Amen. Very good. Again, get on that stage, girl. Preach it. All right. Your final question about your chapter. Your chapter says, throughout life, many tend to forget to notice their awesomeness amid life's distractions and challenges. So please give our viewers tips for remembering every day that they are a star.
Oh, my favorite. Here's my tips. 1, start your day off with prayer and purpose. Turn on some happy music. I didn't say what kind because everybody has their own different genre. Turn off the news or other negative things that can impact your day and thought. Don't let that be your start off. Like a lot of people watch the news and then they go, oh, and I have to remind people, listen, he who controls the media controls the world and also your mind. There have been people who've been dying every day, murder every day, sickness every day. It's in the Bible. But when you let that determine your day, it's kind of hard to come from that. So, 2, meditate on a happy place or a happy thought or not happy food because I don't want you to overeat. But, find your happy place in life and stay there. When life goes crazy and it gets all around you, you're like, take some deep breaths in, hold it, and just let it out. Because all you can do is control you and nobody else around you. So once you allow those situations to control you, you've lost control. So you are awesome with who you are. Encourage yourself. Back to the mirror. You know, you got this, Terry. Oh, Lord, no, you got this. He will not put more on you than you can bear. And I tell people sometimes you do have to tell God no mas. You know, sometimes you are going to have to tap out and be like, listen, I'm not saying that this plate is overfilled. I'm just saying, let me eat it in smaller portions. You know, you just talk to him. He'll be like, oh, you want baby portions? Just a little bit. You know? So remember that you are stronger than what you say you are. Because yesterday you survived. And the day is just another day. And the serenity prayer is always my favorite. You know what that is? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can change and the things I cannot. Just give it to him. And the wisdom to know the difference. And the obedience, this is my part, to do the difference. That's that part.
Very good. I like your addition.
Yeah, because it's that obedience part. Because I've been disobedient. God told me to go left. I'm like, so boring. I'm gonna go right. Then I get right, and I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? So you got to be obedient too. But sometimes he knows we get tired of being obedient. So he knows. That's where grace and mercy come in at. And my last is let go of perfection and don't compare yourself to others.
Amen. You hear a pin drop. Good. So good. You should have a Facebook group or something where you just go live and do like 5-minute segments every day to get people going and thinking
See?
about life.
You ought to read my pages. You ought to be on my Facebook page. I usually send prayers up and stuff like that.
Very awesome. Awesome. All right. So what made you decide to want to be a part of the compilation book, You Are a Star?
Because in my own life, I faced a lot of challenges, as you can tell. And I wish I had someone in my life to tell me, you know, you're a star, you got this, you're made unique. The reason why you don't fit in with everybody is because life is a big old puzzle and you're just a small piece, but you only fit where God wants you to be. Mm. You're not a corner piece. You may not be a centerpiece. You might just be that other piece. And it's okay. Because at the end of the day, when that puzzle is completed, it makes a beautiful picture and you're in it. And, you know, when I know Daria and I know her passion and I know her story and her backstory. And believe it or not, we are always in the same spiritual place. So when she asked me to be a part of this, I said yes.
Perfect. Have you ever written a book or do you plan on writing a book?
Listen, I started several books. Yes and no. Yes, I started several books. And I've got one I'm really working on. It's called Spiritually Raped But Healed. Yeah, it's kind of like my own little documentary about me without trying to tell my sisters and my family and people around me, you know, how I interpret my life. But it's also an inspirational book to others. But I also have some fun books. I got The Rebound Man. I can't wait to write that book. That book is, so I'm gonna give you a small story about The Rebound Man, right? Mm-hmm. He's actually a man who has been hurt in the past. So in order for him to control or to stop his feelings from being involved, he get with women who are searching for a good man, but he only allows you to go so far and then he breaks up with you. So of course, you know, I watch a lot of TV. So of course, you know what happened? He gets into a car accident and he dreams that he's this woman and he's going around trying to figure out like, how did I get here? And why do everybody think I'm this woman? But then he has to start that journey and see how these other women were affected by who he was.
That's
And
awesome.
the only person who knows who he is, of course, is his best friend. And she's a woman who owns a boutique. So my favorite part is that when he realized that he's a woman, he goes to his best friend and he tells her like who he is. And she's first of all, he's a bum. He looks horrible. And she's like, I'm sorry, I don't take care of uh, people like you. And he was like, no, 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 it's me. And so he explains it. And then she's like, what the heck? He was like, I know, get me dressed. So she puts something on him. He goes to the apartment and the security guard says, can I help you? And he's like, I'm going to, I don't even know the guy's name. I'm gonna say Stan. I'm going to Stan's room. He was like, you must be the housekeeper. And he was like, why do you say that? He was like, because I know his type. His therapist like, and
Oh,
you are not his type. And he looked like, what? He's not that shallow. He was like, man, he's the most shallowest man I know. And he got his feelings hurt, but of course the man let him go up the steps. But you don't know your own image until you see it through other people's eyes.
mm.
So that was my funny part. And that's when my kids told me I needed to leave my ex-husband, my ex-fiance. They were like, she's having crazy dreams now, y'all. So that's my funny movie. Uh The Death of Fear is a book about allowing fear to overpower you and how to overpower fear.
Mm.
And my romance book is called The Heart of a Woman. No, 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 no. My romance book is called Bobby's New Adventure. Her name is Bobby, and it's her and her two children. She went through a divorce, and she went through a divorce, and they had to move. So she went through the wanted ads, and she found an ad saying, "You can come work here. You can pay for lodging. Families are welcome. It's school is available. Blah blah blah." So she goes to this place. So of course, it's a country resort farm like. So the guy was like calling everybody's name, and he said Bobby, and she walks up, and he was like, "I'm looking for Bobby." She said, "I am Bobby," and that starts the whole movie.
Oh, these sound great. Well, since you've been a part of this compilation book, You Are a Star, I'm going to send you, whether you need it or not, but I'm going to send you my two academies. One is the Author Academy, and the other is a
Hmm.
Public Speaking Academy. So
Oh,
it is a
okay,
series of videos that will teach you all sorts of fun stuff to polish everything up.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, final words of wisdom to share with our viewers. And then, if you feel like it or you want to, you can share your contact information.
Okay, so my final words is embrace life's challenges and growth opportunities, for they shape the very essence of who you are. Don't be afraid to face challenges or worry about what others think. Remember, growth often comes when wait a minute, growth often comes with its shares of challenges and discomfort, but within you lies the strength to overcome them. So, live your life boldly, embrace every opportunity to grow and thrive. And my daughter helped me write that one.
Wow. How old is she?
32.
Well, how old are you? You look 32. What?
In real life, I am 56, about to be 57.
Shut the front door. Oh, my goodness. Good for you. You don't look it at all.
Baby juice, baby juice. I'm telling you, the slobber, the snot. Yeah, it just keeps you young.
That's hilarious. I haven't heard that one. I'm going to have to use it.
Yeah, so when you pick a kid, they just slobber on you, be like, okay, baby.
That's great. That is awesome. Well, do you want to share any contact information?
Yeah, they can get my name, my email address, my telephone number, and of course they can hire me as a guest speaker and an inspirational speaker. What?
They should. They should. So let's give them your email address for the viewers watching the video. What is your email?
In New Direction. Oh shoot, I'm sorry, that's my business. NEWDLCNTR@gmail.com. And my cell phone number is 937-361-9657.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for this interview. It has been amazing. And I really hope to see you at a conference someday with you being on the stage.
Oh, thank you. Now, did I give you the title of my chapter? I think she said we needed to give you that.
We can talk about that after the interview.
Another
So I'm going
time.
to go ahead and
Okay.
end us and we'll talk about that. All right. Well, thank you for watching and we will see you inside the pages of You Are a Star.
Thank you.